Yeah, it was really good. It was really interesting to zoom out a little bit of the Web3 stuff and talk about maybe like some societal issues like media, like what we have to do to change the society or make it a little bit better. But that's not what we're going to talk after this one. Next up, we're going to talk about a big thing happened this year, Solana. I think all of you here know that Solana has been thriving the last few months. And to talk about it, we have Austin Federa here. Please come up talking about user experience and how it's amplifying with user mass adoption.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around on the end of the second day here. So what we're actually going to be talking about today are mostly the state of NFTs on Solana, how that drives UX and drives adoption forwards. So if we can go ahead and get the first slide up here, that would be great. All right, great. So to start off, Solana is a layer 1 blockchain. It is built in one global state machine, so it doesn't rely on sharding or multiple layers. This is sort of the same core idea as the original Ethereum blockchain. And it is fast, decentralized, and with fast finality and high performance and throughput. And these are characteristics that originally the network was built with DeFi in mind, but it has made it a really natural home for NFTs and creators as well. So going to go through a bit of that here. There's about 2,000 validators around the world. They're permissionless. Anyone can set one up. So there's no permission system there for it. So the state of NFTs on Solana. NFTs started on Solana in August of 2021, and since then, the numbers are pretty wild. So there's been over 300 million NFTs minted on the Solana blockchain by 380,000 individual creators. Over 18 million SOL has been earned by creators in primary and secondary sales of NFTs, which, if you do the math out, that's a pretty insane number. 28 million wallets own Solana NFTs, which is more than Ethereum, which is about 12 million. So we've seen a huge growth in NFTs on Solana, and specifically on the higher volume NFTs that are at lower price points. I think the highest NFT on Solana something sold for is about $2.5 million. There's no $69 million Beeple, but there's a very vibrant ecosystem of creators building really cool stuff on the network. And we just passed $5 billion in GMV. For metrics here, this is the second highest of any chain. The first is obviously Ethereum with about $42 billion in GMV. So this is also just since August of 2021. And there's a whole bunch of fundamental technologies that have made this possible. NFTs on Solana are not just a copy-paste of the ERC 721 and 1440 standard. They're built in a new way because Solana is not built on the Ethereum virtual machine. It's built on its own language and standards. So one of the ways NFTs on Solana cost about 12 cents to mint at their most expensive is through this idea of program reusability. So in many blockchains, you deploy a contract, and then you deploy your NFT data with that contract. That pretty heavily drives up the price because you have to deploy that contract as well. On networks, that can easily be several $100s in order to do. On Solana, everything runs through a few different NFT standards, but that means that when you're minting an NFT, you are just deploying data on-chain that then creates the NFT format. This is really, really friendly for creators that are doing high volume or comic books, music, art, things like that that are not necessarily one-of-one NFT creators, although we have a vibrant ecosystem in that as well. Again, this is all based on next-generation standards. So you can do things with Solana NFTs that you can't do on any other network. That includes things like hard-coded royalties, actually executable NFTs, where you can bundle an entire React Native application into the NFT. That standard's called XNFTs. And there's this system called compression, where you can actually mint 100 million NFTs for about $2,000. That pricing is not obviously designed for your average creator, but for brands that are looking to take things and tokenize them and put them on chain as NFTs, that is disruptive pricing relative to anything else in the industry. This is also a really great application for games who want to say, oh, every endgame item needs to be an NFT. If you can mint 100 million for about $2,000, that becomes something that's actually viable for game companies. And token extensions are another thing we'll get to in a minute. This is the next generation of token standards and programs on Solana. And there's a ton of really awesome features for creators baked into that as well. But I want to talk about Drip House for 1 second here. So Drip House is an application on Solana. They just raised, I think, another round. But they are really flipping the model of NFT distribution on its head. So they've distributed 113 million NFTs to date, entirely for free. There is no cost to buy these NFTs. This is a platform where you go, you subscribe to a creator's channel, they distribute content out to you. There are rarities associated with all these NFTs, and all of the NFTs have enforceable royalties behind them. And so the model there is you give away the content for free, and then in the secondaries markets, that is where actually creators are able to generate revenue. Additionally, artists that do drops on Drip House, drops on Drip, it's kind of a hard one to get out, their primary sales through one-of-one art on exchange art and other platforms actually goes up because they're able to be discovered through something like Drip House, which helps monetize their existing work and their future work that comes out of this. Degen Poet is, I think, the highest grossing artist on Solana through Drip House, so you should check out some of their work if you're interested in this. They've only spent 617 SOL to mint all 113 million of these NFTs. And they have over 100,000 daily active collectors who are going and they're getting NFTs and they're interacting with the platform. You can also now buy droplets, which are the sort of in-game currency for Drip House. And those can be tipped to artists and redeemed for money as well. So they're adding additional features. But this is really flipping the model of NFT distribution on its head, where you launch a collection, you hope people buy that collection, and then maybe you have money on the secondary side. But that's a much different game than saying, primarily what we're bringing you as an audience, and then the best art rises to the top, and creators can monetize there and elsewhere as well. So I want to talk about token extensions. These are much bigger than just NFTs, but token extensions are really designed so you never have to run a private blockchain and you never have to run a private subnet. You can do all the stuff you would do on a private network with all the permissions you would expect on the public Solana mainnet. And so we're going to go through just a few pieces here that are, I'll pull out a few of these for NFT-interested folks specifically. Transfer fees is one. This is hard-coded into the token program. So you can say, royalties are going to be hard-coded in here as a transfer fee. Those can either be set as a percentage with a cap. And so there's a lot of optionality there for folks to actually bake this stuff in. Transfer hooks are also another really interesting feature. A transfer hook is called in between a token transfer, and that can actually call a totally separate program that can allow or deny that transfer. And so what are some applications in the NFT space? Well, maybe you can only buy this second collection an artist has released if you already own something from their first collection. Now, you don't have to write new smart contracts to make this possible. You don't have to go to the wallets and the explorers and the marketplaces and get everyone to get on board with your idea. This is baked into the token program, and so this is automatically supported by all major infrastructure providers and marketplaces on Solana. Additionally, when we're looking at other things here, there's non-transferable tokens. These are tokens that you can maybe drop to some of your most loyal collectors or some people who bought your first collection as a signifier that says, thank you for being a part of my journey from the beginning. These are non-transferable, so they can't be moved out of that wallet, although the person could burn them, but that would be pretty rude in this case. Additionally, there's things like metadata and metadata pointers, which are just new ways to actually build NFTs, either with all the metadata stored on chain or using your typical system where you point out to Arweave, IPFS, Shadow Drive, any of the sort of decentralized or centralized providers you might want to use to actually host media in this capacity. So this is sort of an overview in general of the whole Solana NFT ecosystem. One of the big things you will see is when using token extensions, you can really change what's possible from an interaction percentage. So you can say something like, I'm a game designer, and I want to make sure that my on-chain game, the people buying the tokens or buying the items from it are actually only people that are already fans. And so you can say, you have to have an active account. You can say things like, this wallet has to have been active for at least a month. They have to have been engaging with my content or my game in some way in order to be able to come in. This is also really useful for things like creator tokens. So creators who are launching tokens or thinking about what that might look like, you can say that people who are eligible to sort of buy in on an initial round are only people who have held one of your pieces of art within, say, the last month. All of this functionality and optionality historically required writing your own custom smart contract. It required hiring a bunch of devs to make that happen. And then you ran into a bunch of UX and compatibility issues when you weren't able to just have this be an easy, normal experience for folks. So with this, all being baked in, this really changes what you can do with NFTs, and Solana has become a great home for that. I'll be around later if anyone wants to talk about this stuff. And thanks. And here's some areas you can get in touch and also learn more about NFTs on Solana and some of the technologies we talked about today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Justin.